Hi, this is Ushio, and welcome back to Echo. We just had a terrifying experience where Brian, the bear dude who kidnapped us before, he kidnapped us again, dragged us into the mine, and was about to execute us and dump him on top of his previous victims. It's a bad time for sure. But Flynn showed up and rescued us, and now we're gonna try and get out of here. There was some other stuff going on, but that's for you to figure out for yourself or think about what the consequences might be of the things that we saw. It was a ride, that's what I'm telling you now. But now we're out, and we're going to try and work out what's going next. Leo and Chums are also out there. There's also Kudzu and Jenna have teamed up as well. There's a lot of rogue elements going on, and I've got no idea where we're going to end up. But let's go. I sit in the passenger seat of Flynn's truck, feeling numb. I choose to stare out of the window, watching the desert rush by as Flynn tries to ask me questions. Where's the bear? I shake my head. Is he still in the mine? Think so. What happened? I don't know. It feels strange being back out here. While everything is definitely fucked up and strange out here in Echo, at least it makes some sense. The mine's completely different. It's chaos. That's the word. Chaos. What? How did you find me? I look back at Flynn to see that he's staring at me closely, barely keeping an eye on the road. I went to Leo's house, found all of you guys there, except you, of course. Just waiting? I don't know how to feel about the idea of all my friends just sitting around while a serial killer had kidnapped me. Of course, none of us really knew Brian was a serial killer. Well, what was going on? Kudzu, the raccoon, is the one that told me you were missing. Leo, on the other hand, said you were fine, that he saw you around the house. What? Flynn shrugs. I got no fucking clue, but he was practically holding everyone hostage, wouldn't give the keys up, so I had to take my own truck out here. Is everyone okay? Hopefully. Jenna said she'd try and keep him calm while I came and looked for you. Yeah, Leo is definitely gone way too overprotective and overbearing. Basically, yeah, him keeping everyone hostage is a fair thing. So it looks like Jenna's figured out that he's also like that. Leo needs to be kept under control, but he's lost it. How did you know I was in the mine? Well, because you pointed out the direction you went. I drove up at the canyon, since that's basically the only place he could go. I saw where he parked and knew he'd taken you in there. But how did you know about the back entrance? Flynn smirks as we come out of the curvy Echo Canyon onto a straight road to Echo. Does it really matter? Either way, I know a lot about the town. I watched Flynn for a while until he finally glances back at me. What? Where the hell have you been for the past few days? Oh, in the town hall, managing, stuff. Stuff. Like everything going on. I tried to find you guys at the hotel. At Cole's house, I didn't see anyone. Assumed you tried to leave. That answer is far from satisfactory, but I have no energy to dig deeper. So are we going back? Yep. Then what? Well, they were saying something about a train, so I assume that we tried to get out that way. Sounds like you already found out you can't drive out. Yeah. We turn on the road to Leo's house, and as I watch the house draw close, I can't help the growing sense of dread in the pit of my stomach. As soon as we step through the doorway, I'm engulfed in a combination of beige, grey, black and white fur as I'm surrounded by my friends. Jenna, Cole and Kudzu are all talking at once, asking me how I am, what happened and if I'm okay. Flynn puts up his hands. Guys, let him breathe. I don't think he's up for talking too much. Jenna and Cole step back, but Kudzu doesn't. He's got a hand on my shoulder, gripping it like he doesn't think I'm real. Hey, I'm sorry. I should have been more careful. I should have let you piss on my fucking carpet instead or something. It takes me a second to realise what he's talking about, the thing that got me into Brian's trap in the first place. It makes me laugh a bit at how earnest Kudzu looks compared to what just came out of his mouth. I also realise that I want to hug him really, really badly. So I do. I feel the raccoon stiffen up for a moment, and then hug back. It feels so fucking good to be in the arms of someone I trust, and it seems to break through the numbness that I'm feeling, at least a little bit. Carl seems to take that as an invitation to hug as well, and Jenna joins in. I don't mind, and I wish I could stay like this forever. Group hug. Actually, I just wish this all hadn't happened in the first place. It comes to an end eventually, and Kudzu is the last to draw back. I'm about to ask where TJ is when I see Leo. The wolf stands at the entrance of the hallway, his eyes on me and Kudzu. He's got a pillow in one paw, and his shirt is hitched up over his stomach a bit, like he just pulled it on. What are you doing? The room goes quiet, and the mood immediately changes. Cole, Jenna and Kudzu all look weary. No one says anything. I clear my throat. I'm back. Brian took me to... Leo frowns. Back? No, you were in my room and asked for a pillow. We were... Leo's glare turns on Kudzu. Have they been telling you to say this? Leo, no. The look in my former boyfriend's eyes is completely alien to me. I've never seen that look from him before. I guess I knew that the town, or whatever all this is, has gotten to him, but not completely taken him. Now I'm not so sure. Kudzu stands next to me, his shoulder in front of mine. Leo eyes him again before turning back to me. Chase, come here. I don't move. The room is completely silent. Chase, I said come here. Leo, what the hell? Leo ignores Flynn, his steely eyes on mine. The feeling of coming to a safe place is completely gone now. Echo has seeped into every part of my life, it seems. But I don't move, and neither does Kudzu. Leo doesn't seem to know what to do. His face transforms from anger to confusion. Chula, you were in the bedroom with me, telling me... Leo trails off. I was in the mine, Leo, with Brian. Leo stares. The silence drags on until a soft clicking noise comes from the kitchen. Everyone looks as TJ emerges, staring at us all with sad, lost eyes. TJ, what is it? There's another train coming. Oh, good. Thanks for watching, TJ. I'm not sure if Jen is relieved because our ride out is coming, or if it's because it can distract us from the whole Leo situation. Leo, what were you doing on your own in there with the pillow? We all move at once, squeezing past Leo, out to the backyard. He watches me pass him, dumbfounded. TJ's right. In the distance, I can see the lights of the train slowly winding its way toward us. At this point, dawn is just breaking. Somehow it's only been one night, even though it feels like it's been several weeks. Alright, for whatever reason that train is moving pretty fucking slow. We should just be able to hop it. The train wails in the distance again, much closer now. I thought I was going to have to drive alongside it with you on the truck bed, honestly. The train does seem to be moving pretty slow, but as it gets closer, I realise that it's not exactly going to be a jog to run alongside it. I might be able to catch it at full sprint. Alright, here's what we're going to do. I'll get on first along with Kudzu, and we're going to pull the rest of you on, alright? Cole fidgets nervously. I don't know if I can run that fast. You will, now. I feel a paw land on my shoulder and turn me around. It's Leo. Hey, what is it? I look back at Flynn, wanting to hear what he's saying. Listen to me. Everything you said at the house. Did you mean it? What did I say? Leo looks impatient. What you said about loving me, wanting to be with me forever. You meant that, right? What? The train's approaching. We've got maybe a minute. What the fuck? Why are you acting like you don't fucking remember? Leo bristles, teeth bared, eyes narrowing. Oh my god, Leo, let's just get out of here first. I start to back away toward the others as they continue to discuss jumping on the train. No. Leo grabs my shoulder, looking me right in the eye. He makes an effort to calm down, closing his eyes a moment before opening them. And tell me now, are you going to stay with me when this is all over? We can talk about this when we get on the train. No, I want to know before. I see Kudzu looking at us, and it looks like he's about to head over. Just tell the truth. That's all I want. Okay, decisions. Big decisions. So, what do I want to do? Do I want to say it's over? Or we'll work it out? Because obviously, Leo, I don't know if he's possessed, or if he's always been like this. Because normally, if someone's going off the deep end, it's normally because they're affected by the curse. And there's a particular, person from history who they're associated with. With Leo, we don't actually know if that's the case. If it's just made him bad, or if it's just like his natural states come out. My guy's too much. Shall we just say it's over? We'll just say it's over. Leo's eyes bore into mine as I look back at him. Now isn't the time for this. In fact, it's the absolute worst time for something like this. But looking at him, I can tell that this is the only time for Leo. No, Leo. Leo's eyes widen, and he leans his head back just slightly, at the same time taking a step back. It's like I physically pushed him. After everything that's happened, I just can't. Leo seems frozen, watching me, his arms hanging loosely at his sides. I hear the crunch of gravel next to me, and Kudzu's by my side. Come on, we're going now. Leo's hand moves, then to his waistband. I have a moment to see him lift a gun up from under his shirt, his eyes on Kudzu. My body moves automatically, stepping in front of the raccoon and raising my hands up to my chest defensively. Leo has already frozen his motion though, the gun in front of his stomach, still pointed down at the ground as he stares past me. The fuck? I feel Kudzu grab my arm from behind, his grip so tight that it's painful. But I keep my eyes on Leo, waiting and watching to see what direction the gun might go in. But then it drops. First his arm, which hangs loosely by his side once more, and then the gun, which clatters to the gravel below. I flinch, expecting it to go off. It doesn't, and instead my ears are filled with the sound of the arriving train. Leo's eyes are back on mine, and I watch as tears start to spit out. Come on, Leo, we have to get out of here. Kudzu pulls me back, as I turn away from Leo and the town of Echo as I rejoin the rest of the group. Run! Flynn shoves Cole forward, and the ram takes off alongside the rails, looking over his shoulder at the train. The next thing I know, we're all running after Cole as the train catches up. I look back. Flynn waves both arms at the locomotive as it whizzes past, but if there's a reaction from the driver, I don't see it. I have just enough time to read the letters on the side of the engine, Prescott Railway, before it's moving past me down the tracks. I realise then that the train is quite short, maybe only 5 cars in all. We won't have many chances. Kudzu! Flynn points at the caboose and starts running beside it. Next to it, 2 little steps that drop down at the very end of the platform. Gracefully, the lizard jumps, landing his feet on the steps as his hands scramble for some kind of purchase. He finds it and pulls himself in, and the next second he's reaching out, holding onto the handle of the caboose as he grabs one of Kudzu's paws. With much more ease than Flynn had, Kudzu jumps onto the steps and pulls himself onto the platform. I pass Carl at this point, the ram already losing steam. He calls after me in a hoarse, ragged voice. Shit, I'm not gonna make it. Flynn grabs the ram as they pass, and Cole hop-skips onto the uneven gravel, and for a horrifying moment I think he's gonna fall. But Kudzu leans in and snatches him up as well, practically lifting Cole onto the platform. Jenna, who's right beside me, is next, reaching out a paw to Flynn. He grabs it, and Jenna easily jumps on over the 2 steps. I think it's my turn next, but TJ slows down abruptly, and I move to the side to make room for him. Flynn grabs his arm, and TJ hesitates several times before Kudzu gets a grip on him as well, and he's able to step up onto the first step, so everybody is on apart from Chase and Leo. Then it's time that I realise that the train's picking up speed, and I'm starting to slow down. I move up beside the caboose, seeing Flynn's outstretched hand. Now that I'm next to it, I can see how terrifying this is. The wheels clack loudly in my ears, and I have no idea how I'm going to lift up one leg while keeping up this speed. But I get to grasp on Flynn's hand, and I see Kudzu's paw reaching out as well. The train's going way too fast now, and I know I'll only have one chance at this. I pull down on their hands, and lift up my feet to land on the last step. Once my feet make contact, relief floods through me. I can't help myself as I grin and pull myself up the steps. I don't know if we're safe, or if this whole plan is going to work, but we carried it out somehow, and that feels good for once. And then I remember Leo, and look back, expecting to see him running next to the train. Instead, all I see is the brush and gravel rushing past. I look back toward the town, and I think I can make out a small figure in the distance, exactly where I'd left him. Where the hell's Leo? I stay silent, but Flynn follows my gaze out toward the desert. Ah, shit! At that moment, I'm not sure what I should feel. Probably relief. But what I do feel is an incredible wave of sadness, like a physical wave smashing into my body. Probably the same thing Leo felt when I told him. Some part of me knows that this shouldn't matter right now. All that matters is that we might just have escaped with our lives, but leaving Leo behind. Someone I'd known for most of my life. Someone who protected me, been a friend to me, guided me through the worst parts of my life. Someone who'd always emphasised togetherness and family, who'd always vowed to protect and stand by my side. That very same person had just chosen to stay behind. While we're the ones leaving, he's the one that decided to leave us. And as that solitary figure grows smaller and smaller, that idea hurts more than anything else right now. After seeing Janice get murdered, after being tortured by Brian, after nearly being murdered in a mine, this separation from my best friend is the knife being twisted into my chest. I sink to my knees, holding onto the railing, wondering if I should have stayed behind. Because the Leo I'd just seen with isn't the Leo I really know. He needed help, and I just abandoned him. I should have stayed behind. Hot tears spill over my cheeks as I stare at the metal platform. Fuck you. We say the words under my breath, but there's more rage behind them than anything I've ever said in my life. And they're meant for Echo. Fuck you for killing Janice. Fuck you for hurting William. Fuck you for killing Duke. Fuck you for hurting Cliff. Fuck you for what's buried in the mines. Fuck you for hurting Nick. Fuck you for twisting my friends into something they're not. Fuck you for hurting Cynthia and Murdoch. And fuck you for ruining my life. I sit there on my knees, sobbing hard, like I'm crying for two people at once. I can't see Leo anymore, but the thought of him alone, and probably hurting like me, is too much. I don't know how long I cry for, but it feels like a long time. After a while, I feel a pull on my shoulder. I imagine the rest of my friends standing there staring at me, but when I turn my head, it's only Kudzu. The raccoon is crouched next to me, his head turned toward me, a look that can only be described as understanding on his face. In a bit of a daze, I rub my face on my shoulder to clear my vision. Sorry. Don't be. Kudzu says it automatically as he rubs my shoulder gently. Do you want to get up? The rest of them went inside. I stay crouched there for a moment, watching the blur of the train tracks in front of me as we continue through the desert. Give me a sec. My nose is all stuffy, so my voice comes out clogged. The tiny lights of Echo on the endless expanse of desert get smaller and smaller, and so too does the feeling of tension in my chest. And with the tension goes the sad, angry presence in my head. He goes quiet again. It makes me feel a bit better, but each time I think about Leo, the knife gets a little bit deeper. Kudzu nods and squeezes my shoulder. After a few moments of silence, he speaks. You know that someone I lost a few years ago? I wipe my eyes and nod again. He was my boyfriend. I keep silent as I stare at the tracks, almost hypnotised. That strange feeling of wanting to jump tickles at the back of my brain and then fades slowly. One night we were walking along, like we usually did. We got mugged. We should have just given him everything, but my boyfriend, of course, stepped forward, confronted the guy, and got shot. I glanced back at the raccoon with no idea of what to say. Kudzu shakes his head, like he's coming out of a dream. I'm just saying that I'm here. I might know what this feels like, you know. I cough a little to clear my throat. I mean, he did die. Kudzu shrugs. Breaking up can feel like that sometimes. It's a lot more than that. It was all of that. I wave in the direction of the town. It just feels like I lost him right when we got away. We're going to get people to go back for him. Yeah. I let out a big breath before slowly standing up, my knees popping as I do. Kudzu stands with me as I lean against the railing, choosing not to look out at the town. After a moment, I turn around to face Kudzu, and then I'm hugging him. There's no hesitation this time as he hugs back. I let myself lean into him, letting him support me, feeling the fur on his neck poke through mine. We stay like that for a good few minutes, vibrating along with the train. And finally I pull back. Okay, we should probably go in. I don't think it's all that safe out here anyway. Without letting go of me, Kudzu opens the door and guides me inside. My friends are all sitting in little seats in the dark, swaying along with the train's movements. Cole sits closest to us, and he looks up at the sound of the door. Hey, Chase, you okay? I laugh. No. Cole smiles sadly. Yeah, sorry. You're fine, man. I see Jenna and TJ on the seat further along the wall, and Flynn sits opposite them. Further still, a small shape sits leaning against the opposite end of the caboose, curled up on his seat. It's Clint. Flynn occasionally glances at him, but the polecat doesn't seem interested in coming closer to us. Kudzu guides me to sit next to Cole, and I make room so that the raccoon can sit next to me. So, where do you think we're going? I feel Cole twitching against me as he sits there hunched over. Anyways, better, as long as it's not hell, I guess. Kudzu's arm goes around my shoulders automatically, and we sit in silence for what feels like a long, long time. And I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind if this were the rest of my life, honestly. For the first time in several days, I feel calm and safe. Soon enough, though, the darkness of the caboose is illuminated with occasional flashes of light, and Flynn looks out the window. Peyton. With a grating screech, the train starts slowing down. I'm a little bit surprised. I guess I thought the train wasn't even real and it would just go on forever. But now it comes to a slow, stuttering stop. We all sit in the dark quiet, listening, and then Flynn stands up and opens the door. A soft orange light spills inside. The hell? Out of the doorway, I see rows of train tracks occupied with other boxcars. Someone moves into view. It's an older-looking fox in overalls. He stares up at us like we're aliens. Where the hell did you come from? A moment of silence goes by before Flynn clears his throat. We're from Echo. Did we make it out? Saturday? Wait, I thought we were on Sunday. What happened here? Yeah, Mum, I promise I'll call you in an hour. No, I'm not. No, we're not staying the night. I promise. Wow, Mum. Alright, I swear. I love you too. Bye. I hang up and drop my paw into my lap, sighing loudly. Kuzu laughs. Everything okay? I rub my eyes. Yeah, I guess. She's just worried, obviously. Kuzu reaches over and sets his paw onto my knee, squeezing briefly before returning it to the steering wheel. I can still turn back, you know. I take in another breath and hold it. It's tempting. It might even be a better idea to just let the past die. But now that I'm leaving the area for good, I want to see it one more time. The town and Leo. I let the breath out. Nah, I gotta do this. I thought about it for so damn long, there's no way I'd forgive myself for backing out now. I need closure. Alright, but if he gets weird at all, I'm taking you the hell out of there. He won't. He's back to normal. As much as any of us can be, anyway. But I told him that it's only going to be for a little bit, and that we're just driving through. I look over at him. You want to stay in the car? Was planning to. And if you're planning on going inside? No, I'll stay outside. Okay, but I'll be watching in case you two try anything. Yeah, right. It's been 2 years. It's not very long. Hey, I know Leo. He's not the person we last saw. Yeah, I know. I feel my stomach tighten as I suddenly realise we're driving past the lake and then onto Main Street. It's completely abandoned, but then we pass the motel. The windows are all boarded up, and the parking lot is filled with more cracks than I can remember, but I'm hit with a wave of familiarity all the same. Standing in the parking lot are 2 people. Pointing at the motel is a large black bear, and in front of him stands a canine with some kind of video camera. Kuzu snorts but doesn't say anything. At first I feel a spark of anger at them for probably seeing the whole thing as a morbidly fun adventure, not even having the slightest idea of what sort of hell the town went through. And then I remember that I'd done the same thing. Granted, it was many more years removed, but still the same. We turned onto Leo Street, and my stomach tightens further. And Kuzu glances at me. Can I get a kiss before you talk to your ex? Eyes on the road. Kuzu leans over, very deliberately keeping his eyes on the road as he tries to turn his face toward me. I give him a quick peck on the side of his muzzle and he laughs. I try to laugh as well, but it gets caught in my throat as I see that old house. And there, waiting in the driveway, is Leo. Hey, how's it going? Leo cheerfully greets me as I open my door. It catches me off guard a little bit, his mood being so different from mine. Hey Leo, what's up? Leo has his paws shoved into his pockets, but still manages to shrug. Not much. You? Not much. Leo ducks his head and looks in at Kuzu. Hey Kud, you alright? Kuzu awkwardly answers from behind me. Yeah, I'm okay. There's a moment of silence as I try to think of what to say or do. I hadn't expected Leo to just meet me outside. Did you want to come in for a beer or something? Oh, I'm actually driving for the next couple hours. Yeah, we were just stopping by for a minute. Ah, okay. Leo's smile falters a little bit, and then he shrugs again. Want to go for a walk then? Stretch your legs. I look back at Kuzu, but he doesn't say anything. Doesn't give me a hint as to what he's thinking. He's leaving the decision up to me. Yeah, sure. Leo ducks his head again. You want to come, Kud? Kuzu hesitates and shakes his head. Nah, you two go ahead. I prefer the AC. Alright, cool. Feeling just a little tension between the two of them, I quickly jump out and shut my door. I look over at the rail yard, which is in full view of the car and point. Want to walk over there? Sure. So you've just been hanging out here for the past 2 years? A little bit. Spent a lot of time at my parents'. I'm moving back in with them right now, actually. Oh yeah? Yeah, it sucks, but honestly I can't stand all the vultures scavenging around for stories here. Sounds like it, but at least you'll be around other people, right? Yeah, it's officially a ghost town now, if you haven't noticed. I look out over the rest of the town, toward the motel and convenience store, and all the tiny houses and trailers in between. Not a single person. I actually visited Cole once in a while over the summer. Leo nods up toward the mountains, and I see the big mansion glinting gently in the sunset. Hey, that's cool. I hear he's doing pretty good at school right now. Good. You going back to school? Nah. I shrug my shoulders. walking up to the train tracks to straddle the steel rails. Not in Pueblo, since we're moving up a couple states, but probably eventually. There's a lull in the conversation, as we both go quiet. I look around, wondering if this was the spot where we hopped the train. The train that turned out to be an old engine and caboose on its way to Paignton when it was transferred to a train museum. It had been travelling at a gentle 10 miles per hour to keep from derailing off the old tracks, just slow enough for us to catch. It was the last of the 3 engines being transferred that night. Just a few hours later, the emergency services went in and recovered whoever else was left in the town, including Leo. I still wonder if we'd even needed to hop the train, but I guess I was escaping more than just the town. I look back at Leo. Are you okay? Leo looks up from kicking around some rocks. I scratch my head vigorously, trying to think of how not to say the wrong thing. Have you been doing okay? Are you happy? Leo smiles. Not really. Are you? I think back to the past 2 years of nightmares and panic attacks, of breaking down into tears out of nowhere. How just a few hours ago I dropped to the ground in a grocery store in Paignton because someone dropped a jar of jam. But good to have been there like always to help me back up. I'm managing. I can't cope with this. It's a process. That's good. Are you managing? Leo chuckles. I'm just living. Are you getting help? Like professional help? Yeah. No. Oh, well, it can really help. I like to do things on my own these days. Leo looks back toward the car, Kudzu barely visible through the windows. People can help. You don't have to do everything on your own. I think it's best I stay away from people for now. I noticed the anchor bracelet is missing from Leo's wrist. I look down at the tracks. Listen, I'm sorry about everything that happened. I wish I could do things over, even before what happened here in Echo. Leo looks at me for a moment, a sad smile on his face. The last 2 years have been hell for me. I cried myself to sleep every night thinking about you. I feel my face flush with embarrassment and for some reason shame. But last month, for the first time, it stopped. I stopped thinking about you every hour. I stopped thinking about what you might be doing, about how he might be treating you, about whether or not you're thinking of me. Yeah, I'll still think about you sometimes, and when I do I still cry, but now it hurts less. So yeah, I am doing better, Chase. Oh, well, that's good. I have no right to feel a little sad, but I do. I'm sorry, Chase, for not protecting you the way I should have, for trying to control you and do all that shady shit behind your back. Whatever the fuck was in the town that made us go all crazy, I realised it twisted up my thinking. But those thoughts were always there. Echo just brought it up to the surface. So, I'm a shitty person, and you made me realise that, and I'm sorry I brought you into it. Just know that I really did love you. Leo looks over my shoulder at the car again. Anyway, you should get back to Kud. He'll take care of you, and I hope you'll take care of him, okay? My mouth hangs open a little bit, but that snaps me back to reality. Yeah, I'll do that. I start walking back to the car, but Leo doesn't follow me. I pause. Do you want my new number? We can talk. No. The surprised look on my face makes Leo laugh. It's a real laugh. Kinda sad, kinda happy, but real. That wouldn't be good for either of us. So we're just saying goodbye forever? That old knife in my heart starts twisting again. Leo shrugs. You never know. I stand there, 10 feet away from my first boyfriend, my first kiss, in this very rail yard. My best friend. But hey, if you drive through Paignton again, I'm always open to have another chat. Maybe you'll catch me in a better place. Yeah, I will. I say it immediately, and Leo smiles at me. So, I'll see you again. Someday. I look forward to it. Alright, bye then. Goodbye, Chase. I walk the rest of the distance to the car and open the passenger door before getting in and sitting down. With the door still open, I look back one last time. Leo stands there, paws still jammed in his pockets, his fur outlined with orange and gold light from the setting sun, highlighting his head fur like a halo. I take it in for a moment and wave. He waves back, and with that, I close the door. That's it, we broke up with Leo. And that is the end of Leo's route. Oh wow, what a ride that was. But I think breaking up with Leo was probably the best for the both of them, because with Leo being caught out the way he was and all the things that he got up to, there's no way that you can kind of go back from that. It's best to just draw a line under it and move on with your life. I think what we just got pretty much constitutes a good, happy ending. So there was another option that we didn't pick before, and I don't think it's going to end quite as nicely. Before we told Leo no, not going to happen. But what if we entertain his thoughts? What happens then? So feel free to click off, but we're going to go investigate this as well. Let's go, we'll work something out. I promise. When we get on that train, we'll figure everything out, okay? Leo watches me carefully, looking unsure. Kuzu's next to me at that moment, and he pulls me back toward the group. Come on, we're going now. Leo's eyes flash as he watches, his teeth showing. I don't have time to try and console him anymore, because the train starts pulling up. Run! Flynn shoves Cole forward as the ram takes off alongside the rails, looking over his shoulder at the train. The next thing I know, we're all running after Cole as the train catches up. I look back. Flynn waves both arms at the locomotive as it whizzes past us, but if there's a reaction from the driver, I don't see it. I have just enough time to read the letters on the side of the engine. Prescott Railway, before it's moving past me down the tracks. I realise then that the train is quite short, maybe only 5 cars in all. We won't have many chances. Kuzu. Flynn points at the caboose and starts running beside it, next to 2 little steps that drop down at the very end from the platform. Gracefully, the lizard jumps, landing his feet on the steps as his hands scramble for some kind of purchase. He finds it and pulls himself in, and the next second he's reaching out, holding onto the handle of the caboose as he grabs one of Kuzu's paws. With much more ease than Flynn had, Kuzu jumps up onto the steps and pulls himself onto the platform. I pass Cole at this point, the ram already losing steam. He calls after me in a hoarse, ragged voice. Shit, I'm not gonna make it. Flynn grabs the ram as they pass, and Cole hops skits on the uneven gravel, and for a horrifying moment I think he's gonna fall. But Kuzu leans in and snatches him up as well, practically lifting Cole onto the platform. Okay, so we've got the whole crew here. We've got Flynn, Kuzu and Cole on the train. Still running alongside, we have got Chase, Leo, Jenna and TJ. Jenna, who's right beside me, is next, reaching out a paw to Flynn. He grabs it, and Jenna easily jumps on, over the 2 steps. I think it's my turn next, but TJ slows down abruptly, and I move to the side to make room for him. Flynn grabs his arm, and TJ hesitates several times, before Kuzu gets a grip on him as well, and he's able to step up onto the first step. It's then that I realise that the train is picking up speed, and I'm starting to slow down. I move up beside the caboose, seeing Flynn's outstretched hand. Now that I'm next to it, I can see how terrifying this is. The wheels clack loudly in my ears, and I have no idea how I'm going to lift one leg up while keeping up the speed. But I get a grasp on Flynn's hand, and I see Kuzu's paw reaching out as well. The train's going way too fast now, and I know I'll only have one chance at this. I pull down on their hands and lift my feet up to land on the last step. Once my feet make contact, relief floods through me. I can't help myself as I grin and take my first step up. Then I hear the sound of stomping footsteps behind me. I look back and see Leo running right next to me, snarling with every breath. I start to move quickly, wanting to be out of the way for Leo's turn, but that's when I see him already reaching out for me. His anchor bracelet glints in the moonlight. I don't have time to think as the wolf grabs the back of my shirt and pulls hard. I hear threads pop in my collar as I'm choked. I lose my grip on Flynn and Kuzu. As I fall, I reach out to grab on the railing on the platform. In doing so, my legs swing under the train and I lose my grip. I hit the ground hard and roll several times before something catches my leg. I'm pulled violently with the train and an unbelievable pressure squeezes me like my calves are caught in a vice. Suddenly, the train lets me go and I come to an abrupt, sliding stop in the gravel. I lay there stunned, feeling nothing. And then an almighty throb goes through my legs. I gasp and push myself up and see my feet are missing. I stare as my legs seem to end where the ends of my pants do. A dark, dark stain pours out on the ground around them. Can't think. I don't know what to think. Chase! I look up and see Kuzu, just Kuzu, limping toward me. I wonder if he's missing a foot too, but no, just limping on it. As he approaches, I point at my missing feet, like maybe he'll have the answer to what just happened? Fuck! Immediately, the raccoon drops down beside me, reaching for his waist. He's undoing his belt, and I'm about to tell him now's not the time for that kind of stuff, but then he starts putting the belt around one of my calves. That's when he lifts the pant leg, and I get a glimpse of ragged flesh and fur, blood, and the white of bone. Leo, you fucking dumbass, give me your other belt! I hear footsteps behind me. Take it off. Kuzu slumps down over my legs, and I wonder if he's trying to stop the bleeding with his body. A similar dark puddle starts to form around his head and face. Shit. I reach out and press a paw to his head, wishing I wore a belt so I could put it around his neck. Oh, no, no, no. Leo mumbles in my ear, pushing Kudzu off roughly as he looks at my legs. We're gonna get you fixed. I didn't mean for this to happen, but we'll figure something out. The wolf slides his arms around me and picks me up, and the world tilts. Leo flashes me a grin from across the table as my mum turns away to get drinks from the fridge. This is going to be way better than I thought it would. My dad asks Leo what he's doing for a living, and the wolf tells him he's already got a high-paying job at the auto repair shop. At the same time, he's playing footsies with me under the table. My legs are throbbing regularly now, not even really hurting. I squint against the bright light of the bathroom as Leo flips it on. He turns on the bathtub as I see a bright streak of red on the wall after he does. Then he lays me down in the tub and starts to wrap stuff around my legs. It does start to hurt then, and I groan. Don't worry, it's fine. This is gonna fix you up completely. The end of the bathtub is completely red. I lay my head on Leo's chest as he taps away text on his phone. I love days like this, when we have the whole afternoon free and we choose to do nothing. It's peaceful and quiet. I love the way the late afternoon sun pours through the window and warms my fur while at the same time being cooled by the fan. I realise then that I want to spend the rest of my life with this wolf. Leo nuzzles my neck and head fur, mumbling into my ear, but I can't really understand him. I look down and see that my pants are off and I'm just in my boxers. The ends of my legs are wrapped in red bandages, completely soaked through, soaking into the bed that I'm laying in. I start to reach toward them, but my hand is shaking so hard, and Leo grabs it and pulls it back to my chest. I'm really cold. In response, Leo draws closer and spoons me. Early morning light is pouring through the window, and I think I can hear sirens. Leo nuzzles my ear again, and I try to pull away, but he holds me tight. Like you said, we're going to work something out. I knew it would be easier to do that here in Echo, where we started. Seeing you leave on that train was too much. Something leers at me from the corner of the room. Leo gazes at me with pure, unconditional love as he pulls back from our kiss. My first kiss. My excitement comes out in a burst of giggles as I hug my wolf to my body, feeling his soft warmth against me. The wolf hugs back and we stay like that for a long time. I don't even mind that it's in this rundown train yard in the middle of the hot desert. I'm in love with him. He holds me tight. The throbbing in my legs has stopped. I'm not cold anymore either. I'm just empty. That creature stares at me from the corner, red and grotesque. I stare back as my vision slowly fades. I don't feel anything anymore. That's a bad ending. That is a bad ending. Leo is like a massive, controlling, stalkery type of person, and nothing good can come from that kind of behaviour. That's a terrible time. So we fell underneath the train. We got our legs cut off. So we either kind of died or Leo just took us in and kind of ran our life for us. No, bad time. Really, really obsessive stuff and really horrible. And that is the end of Leo's route. I hope you enjoyed this route, and there's still one more to go, so hopefully I can try and get back to that one at some point in the near future. But for now, that is it. This is Usho signing off, and hopefully I will see you next time.